It is 2-in-1, Spanish and English.
I love it.
Spanglish. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Patricia de Lima. I host the morning show for El Sol Radio 107.9, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today. Thank you so much for being here. We're here to celebrate an expanded multi-year partnership between the Washington Spirit and CBS Health. This is more than a simple partnership. It's an investment and significant step forward in the growth and visibility of women's sports. It reflects the increasing prominence of the Washington Spirit and how the team is leading the charge for women in athletics. Speaks volumes of women's sports and where it's headed into the forefront of American culture to inspire the next generation. The true value of sports is more than what happens on the pitch. Sports have the unique ability to unite a community, inspire future leaders, and empower the next generation. And when leaders in sports and business come together, amazing things happen. Today, we will hear from representatives from the Spirit and CBS about what makes these partnerships so significant and the impact it will bring to the game, our fans, and the broader DNB community. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce Michelle King, the owner of the Washington Spirit.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming ahead of our season opening game. Actually, speaking of our season opening game, we're about a couple hundred shy of sellout. So I want you to all take out your cell phone, text anyone and everyone you know in DC, tell them to come out. It's a beautiful day to watch our game. So let's hope we have a couple hours left. So it's going to be a sellout, which is going to be yet another record for the Spirit. So every day, every game, we're actually breaking our own record. So so much for that. But we're here to celebrate this incredible partnership. I was talking to a reporter the other day about this partnership, and actually he pointed out that it's actually unusual right now in women's football, women's sports, to have, especially an important partnership like the front of the kit, being renewed. Most of the teams are every couple of years changing the partners for a variety of reasons, some good, some not so good. But the fact that the sixth largest company in America, according to Fortune, and one of the most recognized and valuable consumer brands in America has faith in Washington Spirit and supports and shares our mission, and that means so much to us. And the fact that last 2.5 years were pretty productive, I guess. It's a testament that they are interested in continuing to build this incredible partnership. The Spirit, we can't do this alone. The entire community, of course, fans, but corporate partnerships are a very critical component of our success and supporting our players. And having CVS Health as one of our most important partners just means so much for our players, the entire staff. So I'm incredibly grateful. And when you have sponsorships like this kind of company, big, large company, you need an advocate internally, right? It doesn't just happen because company believes in it. There has to be an advocate inside any company to champion this kind of relationships, and of course that's Melissa. So we've known each other for about this has been like 5.5 year kind of relationship that we're building, but we are really grateful for her advocacy and support for all of us. So we're really looking forward to continuing to build this partnership, women's health, mental health, and there are just so many important areas that two companies, two clubs, the club and the company can actually continue to build upon. So we're looking forward to continuing our incredible partnership. So thank you, Melissa.
And you stand up for professional sports ownership across the globe.
Thank you.
So much. Michelle Shulman, CVS's Senior Vice President of Public and Government
It's all good.
Affairs.
That's okay.
Michelle.
Melissa.
Melissa.
It's okay. You're not the first and you won't be the last. So.
Melissa and Michelle, the
Yeah,
eminence.
yeah,
The
yeah.
power eminence.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, and thanks for the kind words, Michelle. On behalf of the 300,000 colleagues at CVS Health, we're incredibly proud to be here today and continuing our partnership with the Washington Spirit. Andy may not remember, but most of the reason we're sitting here today is actually because of a dinner I had with Andy many, many years ago. And I remember sitting at the dinner, and I met Andy and Aubrey and a couple other players, and I left the dinner and I called my boss and I said, I have the best idea ever. And so we are never imagined that we'd be sitting here with the Spirit doing what they're doing under Michelle's leadership, but it is a perfect match for CVS Health. Our commitment to the community, our commitment to communities across the country, our commitment to helping people make healthy choices, our commitment to mental health, and our commitment to helping young girls and young boys be and see everything they can imagine, and watching the players fulfill their dreams every single day. I think just it sums up where we are as a company, and I think it sums up what every adult in a child or a young person's life, aunt, uncle, parent, or friend, you want to see that kid do. And these women on the pitch every single day exemplify what commitment and hard work can mean. And they are incredible role models that we are just more than delighted and proud to be affiliated with. It really was all about the players, and then when Michelle came on the scene, the vision and the leadership that she presented and the innovation that she wanted to bring to women's sports is exactly the same kind of innovation that we like to bring to healthcare. So it has continued to be an incredibly strong and perfect partnership that, again, we're incredibly proud of. Our commitment to the community is also a big part of our partnership, and I'm really delighted to see everybody here from DC Scores, who also have an awesome kit. It's a great jersey, almost as good as the new one from the Spirit, which we're also super excited about. So again, our commitment with DC Scores and other local charities in the Washington metropolitan area will also be continuing, as well as our support for employees of the Spirit and other CVS employees will be continuing to do a Helping Hand Award honoring a Spirit employee and also honoring a frontline employee from CVS Health in the local area at every single game. And we will also be having our CVS Employee Night, working with and having various of our colleague groups at CVS Health coming to certain games and special games. And we're excited to be able to continue that, as well as on October 18th, it will be CVS Health Day at Audi Field. And there will be all sorts of exhibits and samples of products and really interesting things to see. So we also really look forward to seeing you all there on the 18th. And again, just very thankful for the partnership, proud to be here, and cannot wait for the game tonight. Anxious to get started at home at Rowdy Audi.
Yeah.
Thank you for this partnership, for your vision, for your leadership, and for that dinner with Andy. Thank you. And now it's time to hear from a Spirit player who has been a leader, even on dinners. And in our team since 2018, the one and only midfielder Andy Sullivan.
Thanks. Forgive me for reading off my phone. I'm not as experienced as talking about corporate sponsorships as these people. But thanks for everyone for being here today. As you guys said, I'm Andy Sullivan. I'm a midfielder for your favorite Washington Spirit, and I've been here for 8 years. And when I came in 8 years ago, things looked very different. And I feel like that's given me an incredible opportunity to witness the growth of this team and the league. And I've had the unique perspective of experiencing rapid evolution firsthand. It's been truly amazing. I have some funny memories about sponsorships over the years, but we don't have to get into those right now. But honestly, in those early years, there were a lot of frustrating times where people viewed us as a lot more as a charity than a professional team. And we were obviously grateful for any support, but deep down we knew our worth, and the potential to see that worth realized, and it's incredible to see that being recognized now as a league, as a team, and seeing that in the level of investment that's coming from year to year. One of the biggest changes I've seen, especially with Michelle taking control of ownership, is the increased sustainability and professionalism all over the club. And this year-to-year growth has been, again, super exciting to witness, but now as CVS is coming back and for a multi-year deal, it's just receiving an even deeper commitment to the spirit. And as this club is always seeking to do, this partnership is raising the bar. And it's a reflection of the trust and belief in our team, and it's a huge step for women's sports as a whole. CVS is a brand we all know and depend on. It's something that we all use in our daily lives, from Epsom salts to tampons, snacks, and recently, in my case, a pregnancy test.
And diapers for soon.
We'll have a whole kit.
To have such a recognizable brand supporting us in such a meaningful way makes this partnership all the more special. And CVS is an important part of our community, and this partnership feels truly genuine, as the reasons that Melissa shared earlier as well. For me and everyone on the team, having the security of a long-term deal is a game changer. And it's not just about having the resources to compete at the highest level. It's about knowing we have a solid backing to continue to grow and succeed and inspire others to do the same. We're incredibly grateful to have a brand like CVS Health on our side, and we're excited to see where this partnership takes us. So thank you to CVS, thank you to all of our supporters for being with us every step of the way as we continue to push the boundaries of what's possible. Thanks.
Thank you, Angie, for these 8 years and many more to come. Thank you for the positive. This partnership will deepen the connection between the spirit and our fans, extending beyond the pitch and into the match day experience. We'll see CVS branding across the field and throughout new match day activations like today, creating a richer, more engaging experience for our fans. The Spirit and CVS are committed to being a good partner for the community organizations in DC, including DC Scores. DC Scores is a nonprofit organization that combines soccer, poetry, and service learning to empower the Washington, DC area youth. DC Scores programming is currently in 68 schools in the district. Congrats! As part of this partnership, CVS has partnered with the Spirit to support CVS Scores programming at Cardoso Middle Schools, which is critical to our mission. Joining us today from Cardoso Middle Schools are Andrea and Maya. Andrea will give remarks, and Maya will perform a poem for us.
Nice. Awesome. Hi.
It's Mariah Durham. And my poem is called Marionette. The puppeteer that is life decides to add something new. It picks up some new strings, and you enter a world where everyone is like a marionette, strung by God and conditioned by the world. Whatever life hurls at you expects you to stay strong, clean, and deadly silent, and nothing else. Life possesses you on what to wear, where to go, and who to be, with just a twitch of the fingers and a flick of the wrist. But what if somehow the marionette broke away from the strings? What if it snapped right off the handle? To tell the bitter truth, not many are brave enough to defy the wrath of the puppeteer that is life. Those who are simply snap. They jerk the strongly twisted limbs off the thread, and the handle slowly slips off the hand of life and into the marionette's determined fingers. Then slowly, with firmer, more colorful thread, the marionette restrains. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrea Sanchez-Gayas. I'm an 8th grader at Cardozo Education Campus in Northwest DC. I am an Pope athlete in the DC Sports program, which CVS and the Washington Spirit support at my school. DC Sports serves over 3,500 young people through its award-winning soccer, poetry, and service learning after-school programs. With my friends on my team, I do 2 soccer practices a week, a soccer game against another school in DC Sports, and 2 poetry or service learning sessions. We do poetry in the fall and service learning in the spring. I am so grateful to CVS and the Washington Spirit special. Connecting with the players helped me see that soccer is a space for girls too, and that my teammates and I have the support of some of the best soccer players in the world. CVS has teamed up with the Spirit-sponsored DC Scores programming at Cardozo. That means that CVS covers the cost of DC Scores at my school. CVS is not sponsoring a program. They're supporting me and my friends to build a community honor team. They're making sure we have mentors and our coaches who can support us throughout the school day. They're building our confidence through poetry, and they're helping us serve our community through service learning. I am proud to look at my DC Scores jersey and the Washington Spirit jersey to see we share the same sponsor. It reminds me that we're on the same team, and who knows, maybe one day me or my teammates will play on the Spirit. Until then, I'm so excited to cheer on the team from the DC Scores Young Supporter section in Audi Field. I can't wait for the first home game. Let's go, Spirit.
Thank you so much. You guys are amazing, Andrea and Nadia. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Well, now we will open the floor for questions. Before you ask a question, please say your name and the media outlet you represent. Please.
Hi, all. Greg Hoffman with the Team 980 radio here in DC. Multiple of you mentioned the evolution of this partnership and how the continuity of partnerships in this business is very uncommon because yesterday's price is very much not today's price. So I'm curious for you two and then Andy, just kind of your view of how the partnership has evolved, but how those conversations have gone to continue this partnership, knowing that this is an ever-evolving space that, you know, from both a cost side and what you guys are going to be getting out of this partnership on the CBS side, how that's evolved.
So I think from my perspective, it wasn't really a question because the evolution that the Spirit has gone under and the vision and the innovation that Michelle has brought not only to this team but to the league and other teams across the ocean is something unique. And that, I think, is it is a unique thing that Michelle is doing. And we really respected that. We appreciated the vision, and we wanted to support the vision, and we wanted to support this team. I think they are something special. And when we come to Audi and we look out and we see everybody that lives around this region is there, and it's a reflection of the community and the smiles on the boys' faces, the girls' faces, the adults' faces. It's something that we very much wanted to be a part of, and we think it's very consistent with who we are as a company. So they were intense conversations, but they were not hard conversations.
If you were around when I first took over, which is almost exactly 3 years ago, when I arrived here, there was no front of the kit partner. It was empty. And at that time, there were some legacy partners who stepped up and say, we'll do it. But as Andy said, I did not think that the value was there. But most importantly, it wasn't really necessarily financial numbers, but rather I was looking for a strategic relationship, right? We were looking for really the most valuable traditional American brand to give us the legitimacy and credibility that we're not just some charity here, but we're a legitimate business. So we didn't want to go just for whoever is going to write the first company that writes the check for us, but rather who do we really want to partner with? And we were really looking for very classic, traditional, one of the best American brands. So when we started having conversations, as you can imagine, still 3 years ago, you may not remember, but even NWSL at that time was not a thriving league at that time, right? It's a days that, our average attendance was probably a couple thousand. Now we're talking about sellouts, right? So at that time, a lot of those type of brands that we're looking for were not quite convinced that this was a worthwhile investment. And for a company like CVS to step up and show that they actually believed in us and believed in women's just meant so much to us. And we knew that this is a long-term relationship at that time. No one is going to step up in a time like that unless they really believe in it. And we really wanted to nurture, and we wanted to pay a lot of attention. So as she said, this was not about oh, should we renew or not renew, but how do we renew? What's going to be the next 3 years? Those are the conversations as opposed if or should we renew. So we're just very grateful.
And I think when we first entered into this partnership, yes, it was very much about the spirit, and then ultimately it was a lot about Michelle and her vision, but it also was a message to the rest of the league, and that we were saying something as who we are to everybody. And I think that's, as Michelle has mentioned a few times, I think that level of commitment and investment was an important signal.
Quick unrelated follow-up. What do you two remember about the first dinner?
That's not fair. She probably has a lot of dinners.
I do remember meeting at the dinner.
Do you remember
It was
which
in the
restaurant?
city,
Yeah.
and I remember like what the room looked like.
Yeah, it was at a very typical Washington D.C.
Yes.
restaurant whose name is escaping me, and it's around the corner from my office. But I will tell you what I remember. I remember listening to Andy and Aubrey talking about why they decided to take the professional route, why they decided to step away from what could have been a different career path, and what that meant to them, and how much they wanted the team and the league to step up into a different level. And to me, it was almost like we're making a really hard decision. And they talked about what they were getting paid at the time and where they were living at the time. And I am assuming it is much better now, but that they were willing to make that commitment, and they saw the vision of what this could be. Like, how could you say no to them? You know, it wasn't, I mean, I've said it before, it started because of them.
I'll add that I remember meeting Melissa, and I've met a lot of people in passing, but the types of questions she was asking of us made me feel really hopeful about the partnership and the interest that CVS Health was going to show, because she was asking, again, like those important questions about us and the league and the potential and our perspective and how we could see it being different. So that's what I remember from the dinner.
Thank you. Next question, please.
You're right there.
Okay, I'm Jimena Lugo La Torre from Wura, and this question is for all of you. How do you think women's soccer has evolved in recent years? And what is the most difficult part to be a woman and make a difference and make history? You're making a lot of history, Ms. Khan, but how we can, as a woman, how we can make more difference? How we can show the world that the Washington spirit is a strong team. We just win the Challenge Cup, and how we can make the difference, not just here in DC, but around the world too.
They're both looking at me. So, I mean, I think that we're already, I mean, I don't want to use the word prove, but we're already doing it, right? Just today, I was talking about we're now over 19,000 tickets sold. It was just probably unthinkable a couple of years ago, and it's not just us doing. There is that much interest and support for this game. And as Andy said, we don't view our game as charity or some corporate DEI project, right? This is one of the highest, the most excellent, entertaining product, right? So we're not just competing against men's sports teams. We're competing against movies. We're competing against Taylor Swift concert. We're competing against the dinners and the walking in the park type of thing. So what's our value proposition to ask you to come to 13 weekends a year and sit here for 2-3 hours when it's very cold, when it's very hot? We have to give you the best product, most exhilarating product. So our job, the owner's job, the sponsor's job, the player's job, we all have the pieces of this puzzle, but really putting together the best possible team, give them the best possible environment so that they can really excel and give 100% and make it really the most exciting product. But by doing so also, also giving all the young girls growing up and saying, well, my next door boys can look up to Messi and say, I want to be next Messi, but the girls typically at the age of 11, 12, or 16, 17, they kind of drop out of sports because there's no role model, there's no really clear pathway. Well, now we have clear pathways, and they can see the role models, and they can come to the game and feel this type of thing. And this is happening, right? This is happening all around the world. It was already happening in England, even in France. The Olympique Lyonnais last season, when we played against PSG, we had 38,000, a little over 38,000 people. When I first showed up in Lyon, people were very skeptical, more skeptical than in DC, that, you know, no one is going to come and watch women's game. A year later, 38,000 people showed up and watched that game. So this is a movement. And I think this is not something that we should take it lightly, and by saying we're women's sports, come and watch, but rather this is really the most entertaining, incredible experience that you can have. And I think we're doing that, and the proof is in the numbers in terms of the stadium attendances and viewerships and sponsorships and so forth. So there's no point of return, right? We're moving forward.
So 11 and 12 is also the age where a lot of girls drop out of math and science as well. And so it's an important age. And again, I'll go back to what I said before, seeing women succeeding at doing and sticking with their dreams and what they want, I think is one of the most important lessons. And to me, it's not just come watch women's sports, it's come watch sports that women are playing. And women, I think, the way I've always looked at it in my professional career is I'm going to go and do it. And I am going to do whatever business thing I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm not only going to talk about women's issues, I'm going to talk about issues. I'm going to talk about the business from a holistic perspective, not just women's issues in our business. And I think women showing up and doing and performing at their utmost skill level, whether it's at a desk, a board table, a chalkboard, on the field, whatever it is, that's how I think you teach young girls and young boys. If you can dream it, you can be it. And I really believe seeing people committed to whatever their path is and succeeding is one of the most important things we can do for young kids.
I would agree with that completely. I think it's very easy to, when you step into like this career or this environment, to kind of feel like you get a lot of questions about being a role model, and I think that can be kind of an interesting weight. But I think what I would encourage like myself and my teammates to do when I feel that is, like, the best way to be a role model is to be yourself and be dedicated to your craft, which is what Melissa was just saying. And like showing up and being yourself authentically and consistently and giving everything you have to what you're passionate about is enough. And just to hear one person say, oh, maybe I'll be on the Spirit Field one day, that's enough for me. That is like the best part of my day. So that, I think, yeah, the change doesn't always happen as sweeping as it's been happening lately under Michelle, but for me, I've seen more of those small interactions, and that's always feel like how I can make a difference.
Any other questions?
Ambitious to go against Taylor Swift. I have a question for Andy and Michelle. Andy, I think one of the things that I noticed about the team that felt like really turned the history of the Spirit was the player statement. They came out about wanting Michelle to be the owner. Can you reflect on like the pride that you have knowing that you, like the team and the players in your leadership kind of led to this? And then Michelle, I want you to reflect on having that buy-in from the players and how important that was to have such advocates and such leaders in the group that was here.
That was an extremely stressful time, but also something that I am very proud of, and at the time was very scary. And I think I remember being we were on the bus to Philadelphia, me and Tori Huster sitting in the back seat, drafting many things, again, as we were preparing to play an important game. And knowing that what we were doing was like risky and scary, because I feel like years previous, players weren't always speaking out about their situations, which I feel like is changing and I think is a good thing. But like I said, there's been so much rapid growth that it's sometimes you're like, I don't feel a part of that at all, because I feel like it's just Michelle and everything that she's put in place. But if I think back on my career, and if it ended today, that would be something I'm like incredibly proud of, because I do think it helped shift the tides and the narrative, and hopefully, I mean, it took a little bit longer than we would have liked, but something, yeah, I'm incredibly proud of, because it's put the spirit, and then again, the ripple effect of the spirit, the league, other clubs across the world, women's soccer as a whole, in a better place. And to know that I even had a small part of that, again, is enough fulfillment for me.
I can't believe there's somebody who still remembers that and asking us that question. Yeah, I went to the hotel where they were actually arriving, because there was a game at a stadium in Philadelphia. I think we're playing Gotham,
Yes.
but it was at a Philadelphia stadium. But I went up to watch the game, but because I was early, I actually went to the hotel, and I was waiting for the players to arrive. So this big bus pulled in, and I had no idea what was going on. I just thought that I was greeting the players, because at that time, the situation was very tense, and they kind of were left alone. No one was really supporting them. No one was allowed to interact with the players and all that. So I just wanted to show my support, and that was the only reason why I was there. And as the players were getting off the plane, I believe Tori and Andy were the last ones, and their faces were like literally white. And they said, I pressed the button. I think Tori said something like, I pressed the button to send the email. And I mean, at that time, I really had no idea that was happening, but it was just like, you know, it meant a lot to her. It meant a lot to me as well, right? That was probably a pretty much a turning point for the whole situation. And I think the fact that they took the courage to do that, show courage, and then sort of role model for all other teams and so forth. So that gave me even more motivation and responsibility to make sure that things will be addressed and things will work out. So yeah, definitely that was a very pivotal moment for the whole history of the Spirit.
Good afternoon, Josh Kirby on Sports. I just want to get your thoughts collectively from the fan base side. You mentioned that this game's about to sell out, 100 plus more tickets left. But what does that support from the fans, and the excitement with the fans coming to Audi Field to support the Washington Spirit? What does that mean to you all?
I can,
players,
yeah,
yeah,
I'll go
players.
first. Again, reflecting on the fan base, like we've had such a committed fan base since I've been here, and now it's just growing and intensifying even more. And as you can see on when I'm on the field, I'm extremely focused and don't really know what's going on. But the energy exchange is so valuable to us as players, because when we're playing well, we feel the fans getting excited. And then we like reach this whole other capacity of what we're able to give. So obviously then we play better, and it just becomes this crazy exchange and amplification of energy and quality. And it's a huge advantage for us at home, and we saw that play out in the second half of the season, especially last year, and give us momentum and give us an edge. And even this week, as we prepared for this game, which will be an extremely challenging, fun, exciting game, we talked about playing at home and playing at home again for the first time in a while. And that's what means the most to us. And it's not just players, it's our staff as well. Like, everyone is so excited to be back home here at this stadium with our fans. And it's been a huge motivator for us in preparation, and will again be a re-energizer for us when we're on the field.
And just a quick follow-up, how do you like the new kits?
I love them. I love the black. I love the yellow. I love the energy, something different. We got a taste of the yellow last year, but they're fun. I feel good when I'm wearing them. And yeah, what else, Kate? Any other thoughts? Kate's up here in the yellow if anyone wants to see. No, but we love them, and they're fun, and they're exciting, and we're excited to wear them at home and away.
What's up, Monty? For WTOP News, this is for Michelle. We've heard record attendance numbers, season ticket holder numbers heading into this weekend. What is the next step or the next goal you have for the business side for the Washington Spirit, and how does it align with your overall vision?
Yeah, so I mean, I think we continue to build our fan base. I mean, clearly, if you go to Barcelona, this is what I've been told. When you have a baby, the first thing that they do is to buy a share of the Barcelona, because it's in those countries it's community owned. And then they put their child on the wait list for the season tickets for Barcelona games, right? So it takes, the season ticket wait list is a pretty long thing. And so I want us to be like totally ingrained in this community. We're part of you, part of your family. This is something that just people don't even think about it, but this is part of that community. And I think that's not necessarily because we want, a financial aspect is very important, but just being part of the very important fabric of this community, because that gives the role model, the motivation for all the young girls, because at the end of the day, our players, of course, it's their career, but also what they're doing is really giving hope and develop a path for the young girls growing up, that they don't have to go through, quite frankly, what some of the things that Andy and Aubrey had to go through at the beginning of their professional career. So this is about building that community. Financial aspect is also very important because, you heard us talking about how women's football is not charity. So this is not about just, either corporations or any owners just continuing to fund it, but there has to be a sustainable, financial sustainability, just like any other sport, any other businesses. So that's a very important aspect of it. We're making huge progress, selling out, having corporate sponsorships, and all those things are a very, very important part of it. So I consider both building the community, creating career opportunities, not only for our players, but for all the young girls coming up, providing the best form of entertainment to our fans in this community. All those things very important, but also to legitimize the women's sports. Financial sustainability is very important. So we're working towards that. I think we're probably a couple of years away from achieving that, but that's probably another benchmark that we're working towards.
Hi there, Vitas Caracella from Forbes. Question for Andy. You've been credited, at least partially, for the genesis of this partnership. So I wanted to know, from a player's perspective, what do the players feel like they get out of these kinds of corporate partnerships? We often hear from owners or the corporation themselves, but how do players feel about this, and what kind of benefits do you get out of these?
Absolutely. Well, I feel like even the fact that I come up here and I have met Melissa and we've talked, just having that connection with your partner is huge, because I feel like a lot of times there's not that actual personal connection. So feeling like your corporate sponsor actually knows you and cares about you is huge. And again, Melissa talked about all the activations that they're doing within the community and on game day. And again, that's something that maybe you would think doesn't directly affect us, but it does. Again, we want our community partners to feel valued and a part of our team, and they are, and that's because, again, of CVS Health. And then, like Melissa said, I'm gonna get a baby care package soon, so. No, but yeah, so just in so many ways. And then I talked about, again, them coming back year after year, and now, again, for multi-year, shows that they really believe in us and are committed to us, and that isn't something that we've always seen. So for all those reasons, I feel like the players get a lot of confidence from that.
Question real quick for Melissa to wrap up. Women's health has been tragically under-researched throughout American history and world history, and often sports performance research has been tied to findings in the women's health space. So I'm curious, what kind of opportunities for a company as big and as ambitious as CVS and CVS Health, what kind of opportunities exist for research that could affect things far beyond sports?
So I'm trying to think how to answer that because trying to think how to answer that. I think that what Michelle is doing in terms of research around women's sports and how women need to train differently is really the more important focus. From our perspective as a healthcare company, we try to support people in every step of their healthcare journey. So whether it's Andy today or Andy X number of years from now as she's in menopause or whatever is in between, as a company, we try to look at healthcare holistically. And so your health every step on your healthcare journey, her on every step on her healthcare journey, and trying to make sure at the end of the day that people have access to affordable quality healthcare. And we are desperately trying to make the healthcare system simpler. So there's a challenge for you. But at the end of the day, for us, that's really what our focus is.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank our speakers, Michelle Kang, Melissa Schulman, and Andy Sullivan. Thank you so much for today. We do have other special guests here. Thank you to the Spirit CEO, Kim Stone. Thank you, Gail. Spirit Defender, Kate Wisner. Thank you. Katrina Owens and Tony Francavilla from DC Scores. Thank you for being here. Ward 6 Council Member Charles Allen. Thank you so much. From CBS, we have Gary Nuzzi. And from Cardoso Middle School, a big thank you to Andrea and Maya. Thank you so much. Now we really need those phones out. Text your friends because 19,000. We hit the 20,000. Thank you so much for being here. Please text your friends. We need
I'm not kidding you.
And we are ready for this home opener. We're expecting, as you said, record-breaking attendance today, and I can't think of a better way to kick off this season. We'll be taking on Kansas City. We're going to kick them. And we promise an unforgettable match. This is the perfect moment to celebrate this incredible partnership. I will continue to raise the profile on women's sports. Thank you so much.
Jonah. Team meeting.
She's got to go to work.
Yep.
Oh, it's fine.